Hello students, today we have to move for the next continuation part in the lesson Indian water resources. Till to yesterday we know about the Himalayan rivers in the sense Ganga, Brahmaputra and one more, that is the Indus river system or a Sindhu river system. Today we have to know about the, yesterday only I told you that there are the two kinds of rivers. One is called the North Indian rivers. They are also known as the Himalayan rivers, and another one is the South Indian rivers. They are also known as the peninsular rivers. Why North Indian rivers are called the Himalayan rivers? Because they took birth in the Himalayan range, so they are called the Himalayan rivers. And why the South Indian rivers are called the peninsular rivers? Because they took birth in the peninsular region. Peninsular region in the sense South India region, okay, or they flow across the South India. So that's why they are called as the peninsular rivers. Okay, some important peninsular rivers or the South Indian rivers are Mahanadi. So in this we have to know the birthplace of that's all. Mahanadi. Mahanadi, the birthplace is Sihava. Mahanadi birthplace is Sihava. Keep in mind the birthplace is Sihava. So it flowed towards the Bay of Bengal and joined the Bay of Bengal finally. So that is Bay of Bengal. So these are this is a river joining towards the Bay of Bengal. Clear? So Mahanadi birthplace. This is the birthplace, that is Sihava birthplace. Birthplace means is Sihava. Okay, where it is Sihava? Sihava is in Odisha. Okay, keep in mind Mahanadi is the Odisha river. Next is the Godavari. The Godavari, the want to add because while mentioning the river name and everything we want to add the, okay, or the. Clear? The Godavari. So this its birthplace is Triambaka. Godavari birthplace is Triambaka. Birthplace is very important. Finally it joins to the Bay of Bengal. It flows towards the east and joins to the Bay of Bengal, and this is also the east flowing rivers. And the next one is the Krishna. The Krishna, very important, you have to note down. Krishna birthplace is Mahabaleshwara. In this birthplaces are very important. Keep in mind Mahabaleshwara. It is also flow towards the east and finally it join the Bay of Bengal. Next one is the Kaveri. I think you know about that Karnataka river. It is Kaveri. Kaveri birthplace you know already, that is Talakaveri. Talakaveri is the birthplace of Kaveri, and it is also flow towards the east and finally it joins the Bay of Bengal. The next one is the Narmada. The Narmada. So Narmada birthplace is Amarakantaka. Narmada birthplace is Amarakantaka. It is also the west flowing river. Finally it joins the west in the sense Arabian Sea. It is a west flowing river. So finally it joins the Arabian Sea. Next is the Tapi river. Okay, Tapati or Tapi it is. So its birthplace is Multai. Multai is the birthplace of this. This flow towards the west and finally it joins the Arabian Sea. Okay. These are the birthplace of main rivers. Mahanadi birthplace is Sihava. It is flow towards the east and finally joins the Bay of Bengal. Godavari birthplace is Triambaka. Sihava, Triambaka. So it is also flow towards the east and finally it joins the Bay of Bengal. Krishna river birthplace is Mahabaleshwara. It is also finally joins the Bay of Bengal. Kaveri rises at Talakaveri and it is also joins the finally joins the Bay of Bengal. Narmada river rises at Amarkantaka, but it is a west flowing river, flow towards the west and finally joins the Arabian Sea. And the Tapi is also rises at Multai and it is the west flowing river and finally it joins the Arabian Sea. Yes, the main tributaries of the Krishna and Kaveri. Let us know the tributaries of Krishna. Tributaries in the sense sub-rivers. Keep in mind, tributaries means sub-rivers. So, which are the tributaries of Krishna? I mean the rivers which are formed by the main river, they are called as the tributaries. Clear? The tributaries of Krishna are Bhima, then Tungabhadra, Koyna, Ghataprabha, Malaprabha. Koyna, Ghataprabha and Malaprabha. Ghataprabha, Malaprabha are the tributaries of Krishna river. And in the same way, the tributaries of Kaveri rivers, as you know that in a 9th standard, that is Hemavati, Shimsha, Kapila, Arkavati, Arkavati, then Suvarna Tirtha, Lakshmana Tirtha and Suvarna Tirtha. Lakshmana Tirtha and Suvarna Tirtha. So these were the tributaries of Kaveri river. Keep in mind, which are the tributaries of Kaveri river? Hemavati, Shimsha, Kapila, Arkavati, Lakshmana Tirtha and Suvarna Tirtha. So this is about the east flowing rivers and the west flowing rivers. Keep in mind, the North Indian rivers also known as the Himalayan rivers and the South Indian rivers also known as the Peninsular river. There are the two kinds of rivers. One is called the Himalayan river or the Peninsular river, or in another way they are divided as two parts. One is called as the east flowing rivers and the another one is west flowing rivers. So next we have to know about the irrigation. What is meant by irrigation? Irrigation in the sense, you already know that. So what is meant by irrigation in the 9th only? Irrigation means artificial supply of water to the agricultural field is called as the irrigation. What is meant by irrigation? Artificial supply of water to the agricultural field is called as the irrigation. There are many types of irrigation. That thing also you know that. That is the well irrigation, types of irrigation, well irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, canal irrigation, tank irrigation, and tank irrigation. So these are the kinds of irrigation. Okay, artificial supply of water to the agricultural field is called as the irrigation. The types of irrigation in the sense well irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, canal irrigation and tank irrigation. Well irrigation means the supply of water to the agricultural field through the well. ಬಾವಿಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಗೆ ನೀರನ್ನು ಹಾಯಿಸೋದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ವೆಲ್ ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್. ಡ್ರಿಪ್ ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಟು ದ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಡ್ರಿಪ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಡ್ರಿಪ್ ಬೈ ಡ್ರಿಪ್. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೆನಿ ವಿಲೇಜಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೆಡ್, ಓಕೆ, ಟು ಸೇವ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ, ಆರ್ ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದ ವೇಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಡ್ರಿಪ್ ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್. Sprinkler irrigation means supply of water to the agricultural field by the sprinkling, that is called as the sprinkler irrigation, tunturu reeti. Okay, canal irrigation means, canal means kaluve, artificial supply of water to the agricultural field through the canal means kaluvegala mukhantra haisodu, that is called as the canal irrigation. Tank irrigation means the tanks are built in the middle of the agricultural field to save the water. Through the tanks the water will be supplied to the agricultural field, that is called as the tank irrigation. Yes, the country like India need this kind of irrigation, anyone well or drip or sprinkler or canal or tank irrigation. Why the country like India need the irrigation? Because the rain is uncertain. Uncertain in the sense, I think you know about that rain is, we are not getting the rain in all the times. If you are getting a rain also, the farmers, if they will get a rain also, sometimes they will get a more rain, that causes the flood. Sometimes they will get a very less rain, that causes the drought. I think you know about that, right? Is it? So that's why the rain is uncertain in India. So that's why India, the country like India, particularly country like India, need the irrigation. Keep in mind. Why? Because rain is uncertain, and mainly it depends on the monsoon. The Indian agriculture is mainly depends on the monsoon, southwest monsoon. I mean rainy season. So the country like India need the irrigation. Next, and also among all these kinds of irrigation, I mean well irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, canal irrigation, tank irrigation, among all these, well irrigation is largely practiced in India. Okay, it is largely practiced in India. Why that well irrigation is largely practiced, I mean more practiced in India? Because well irrigation is a less cost. Okay, so we can dig a well in a less cost. Okay, less cost, and it's not require more modern technology like that. It's not require the more modern technology, and it is very easy also. It is very easy and not require modern technology, any modern technology not required. Farmers themselves, they can dig a well where they required. So that's why the well irrigation is largely in the sense more practiced in India. Drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, it is a more cost. Okay, even canal irrigation also, it is it requires some hard work. So that's why, but this well irrigation is less cost, very easy, and not require modern technology. So that's why the well irrigation is more practiced or largely practiced in India. Okay, next there are the two types of well we can see. There are the two types of well. One is called as the open well, and another one is the tube well. It is the open well and another one tube well. Open well and the tube well, these are the two types of the wells. I think you know about that. Open well in the sense the mud will be digged by the farmers and making that. I think you know about that. The many wells are there like that. And tube wells in the sense Kolave Bavi. Okay, the well has digged by the machine, that is called as the tube well, and this is digged by the manpower, that is called as the open well. Next, there are the two types of canals. Canals in the sense Kaluvegalu, I told you already. There are the two types of canals. One is called as the inundation canals and another one is perennial canal. One is called the inundation, pronounced properly, inundation canals, and another one is the perennial canals. Okay, there are the two types of canals. One is called as the inundation canals and the another one is the perennial canals. What are inundation canals? In these canals, water drawn directly from the river. So in these inundation canals, water drawn directly from the rivers, not required any lakes or any other water resources. So directly from the rivers, the canals are made and directly it flows to the agriculture field. That kind of canals are called as the inundation canal. Keep in mind what is meant by inundation canals. In these type of canals, the canals in these the canals in which the water drawn directly from the rivers, the canals by which the water drawn directly from the river, that is called as the, or they are called as the inundation canals. Okay, the canals by which water drawn directly by the river, they are called as the inundation canals. And what is meant by perennial canals? The canals by which water drawn from the dam or reservoir, drawn from the dams. Dams in the sense, I think you know about that. The excess river water are stored to avoid the flood, okay, or to save the water. They are called as the dams, okay. For multiple benefit, the dams are constructed. The canals by which the water drawn from the dams to the agricultural field is called as the perennial canals. The canals by which the water drawn from the river to the agricultural field is called as the inundation canals, okay. So this is about the two types of water canals. And the next one is about the multi-purpose river valley project. I told you about the dam, okay, based on that construction of dam only. So India has to plan or implemented one plan to construct the dam, that is called as the multi-purpose river valley project. Multi-purpose river valley project. Very important. This is the project as undertaken by the Government of India to construct the dam across the river. That project is called as the multi-purpose river valley project. The name itself says here multi-purpose. Multi-purpose means for many purpose. Aneka uddeshyaಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ. Okay. What is mean by multi-purpose river valley project? The dams constructed by the Indian government for the multiple benefit or for the multiple purpose across the river. The dams constructed by the government across the river for the multiple benefit or multiple purpose, that is called as the multi-purpose river valley project. Okay, once again I will repeat you what is mean by multi-purpose river valley project. Construction of dam across the river for the multiple benefit or multi-purpose or many purpose, that is called as the multi-purpose river valley project. Which are those multi-purpose or multiple benefit? One is the main thing is control of flood. Control of flood is the one thing, okay. Because I think you know about that, the excess water, when it is overflow, by that time it causes a flood. So if the flood is causes, everything will be destroyed. To avoid the flood or to avoid the overflow of river water, the dams are constructed. That is the main objective of the multi-purpose river valley object. One is control of flood. Control of flood. Keep in mind. And provide the water for irrigation. The second objective is provide water for irrigation. Irrigation in the sense I told you already, artificial supply of water to the agricultural field. Okay, to provide the water for the agricultural field, then that thing. And to generate the hydroelectricity, I think you know about that. Electricity is generated by the water power. So to generate this hydroelectricity, multi-purpose river, dams are constructed. That is also one of the objective of the multi-purpose river valley project. Objectives are very important. Next, also to provide the water for drinking. Many of the peoples depends the water, drinking water on river, okay. So that is to provide the water for drinking. Particularly Bangaloreans depends on the Kaveri water to drink, okay. That is also one of the thing. And another objective is to prevent the soil erosion. Soil erosion. So there in no place, that's why I am writing here. To prevent the soil erosion. So if the dams are constructed, river water is not overflow. Through that it's not, soil is not eroded, to prevent the soil erosion. And to develop the fishing, So if the dams are constructed, many peoples get a job through the fishing, that is. And also to provide the water for the domestic purpose, drinking, or for industries also, to provide the water for industries, because many of the industries get a water from the river. And also for afforestation, or to develop agriculture and afforestation. Afforestation means to develop the or to grow the forest area. So these were the objectives of multi-purpose river valley project. Once again I'll repeat you, I'll recall again, keep in mind what is mean by multi-purpose river valley project. Construction of dam across the river for the multiple benefit or multi-purpose or many purpose, that is called as a multi-purpose river valley project. What are the objectives of multi-purpose river valley project? Objectives in the sense why we have to construct the dams. One thing is, the main thing is to control the flood. Second thing is to provide the water for irrigation or agricultural field. Third thing is to generate the hydroelectricity. Fourth thing is to provide the water for drinking. Next thing is to provide the water for soil erosion. The next point is to develop the fishing, because fishing is the main occupation of many peoples. Next thing is to develop the industries. The last one is to develop the or for the afforestation. Afforestation in the sense cultivation of trees. Okay, so these are all the objectives of multi-purpose river valley project. Most repeated question is what is multi-purpose river valley project, and write its objective. Okay, tomorrow I'll discuss which are all the multi-purpose river valley project, important multi-purpose river valley project constructed in India. Thank you all. Keep watching.